Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode number 28, 27. I don't even know what episode we're on over on podcast. One of those two of the Ball Talk Boyos podcast. My name is Topher Davis, and I'm joined as usual, by Connor Wood and Quinn Kelly. How are you guys doing today?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. No Joey for the first part of this. We'll see if he joins later on. He's driving back from Michigan State right now. But to start off, how does it feel to live in the best hockey country in the world?
You took the words right out of my mouth. If I got the chance just then, and you asked me how I felt, in one word, it would have been free. Free as what? Free as a bird.
Free as
we got 2 gold medals too. The women on Thursday, Hillary Knight. Hillary Knight scored the tying goal. Melon Keller with the winner. Just awesome. Hillary Knight's been doing it forever. And then, this morning we get another W. It is just so awesome. It's so good to be us.
Were you guys back from your run by the time it was? Did you guys get to see the end?
No. I think as soon as I got back, I checked my phone and got the notification. I guess a few minutes before.
Okay.
Yeah, right at the end of the run.
I was up this morning and I watched all of the third period and then overtime, obviously. But I forget how enjoyable it is to watch hockey until I actually sit down and watch it again, because it's there's always something going on. I'm always impressed at the fact that they can skate. I've never been ice skating before in my life, so to see them do that. And then the other point that I wanted to make was I've been fairly hungover at times in my life. I don't know if I would ever recover from the level of hangover that I would have after winning a gold medal. I mean, where would that rank in the top? How high on the list of feelings would that be, you think?
Really, really high. I mean, amongst sports,
especially for an athlete.
And I think even if you're not a super patriotic person, to stand there while they lift the flag and play the anthem, the rate at which those people just sob while it's happening.
Oh my gosh.
It just has to be such a euphoria that
it just
we'll probably never feel, but it's just so cool.
And the fact that it was the first one since 1980, I believe. It's only the third ever, which I had no idea. I thought we would have the U.S. would have landed one at some point over time. But to do it that way was pretty magical, to say the least. Did you guys watch any other of the Winter Olympics or not really?
I was watching a little bit early on. I watched the team figure skating, which I talked about on the pod 2 weeks ago. I saw Ilya Malenin's disastrous final in the individual. Head up, Ilya. We're behind you. The comeback's going to be so incredible. But and then I was watching a little bit of things here and there, but never really tuned into anything but the hockey, I would say. But for me, it's hard. It's the Olympics. It's once every 4 years, even if it's winter sports where I don't even really care about it. It's just cool that it's going on. And it's cool, too, to kind of learn about it, So, gotta love it.
Connor, what Winter Olympic sport do you think you'd be best at?
Actually, I was talking about this yesterday, but I think curling. I think if I had a month to do curling, I think it's a month of practice. I feel it's pretty. I feel once you get a hang of it, I think I could be good at it, and I don't think it would take me too long. Maybe a month of training, I think I could get curling down.
I was thinking about it. How hard would it be to find a place to go and do curling around here?
I don't know, up north, Minnesota.
I don't even think we'd have to go that far.
There's one, I think, in either Chicago or Milwaukee. I think there's some place where you can go and do it, and it's also a bar. It's if you were to I don't know, go to axe throwing or whatever.
I thought you were Wauwatosa.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so it's somewhere near there, yeah. I'm sure, Connor said, I'm sure if you go to Minnesota, it's every block has one.
The company card,
Walgreens, but
the company card might be paying for a curling outing at some point here soon. Because that would be pretty sick. That would be amazing. To watch 3 distance collegiate athletes trying to figure out their way around on ice. That would be cinema.
I couldn't do the scrubbing part because I can't skate, but I think the first part just being like aiming it.
They're just walking. Yeah, they're just walking.
Yeah, they have one grippy shoe, like one that like has traction, and then one slippery one. So they like slide on the one while they're pushing with the other. Yeah. If I was curling though, I don't even. They're always yelling stuff. I don't know what it means, but I would be yelling stuff. I would just be going, like, "Hi, glitter, girl," whatever. Just yeah. Even if it was like, even if I was yelling at somebody to sweep and like it was counterintuitive, I would just be yelling at it, like, because that's like half the charm of watching curling to me is listening to them, because they're so like it's so like high access. Like, when you're watching it on TV, it's just like you're down there on the ice with them, and it's not like there's like crowd noise like in another sport or whatever.
I just think it's so crazy how like accurate they are with it, like every time. As there's like, oh yeah, we're gonna put this right here, and it's gonna knock these 3 stones out of the way like perfectly, like no questions asked. And I'm like, that should replace bowling, in my opinion. We should have just as many curling alleys as we have bowling alleys in this country, and then maybe we'd take that gold medal too. Maybe that's what we need to get serious about. Now that we've taken over hockey, curling, we're coming for you next. Or cross-country skiing. How long do you think it would take us to become like good cross-country skiers?
Never.
I've never skied in my life, but like
either of us.
Endurance athletes, like to an extent. I think I could do it in 2 years.
It is, they like all of them like collapse after they finish, which like you kind of see that in a cross country race, but they like literally cross the line and it's like a reflex, just like full on like spread on their back. So I think it would take a while. Like we as cross country runners are better positioned than the average person to like take that step or whatever, but I think it would still take a while. Maybe like you're saying, maybe 2 years of like pro training. I think if I had like 2 years, if you quit your job.
I think if I had full access to it, no worries about like the money. I think if I spent the next 4 years getting like in shape to do it, I'd make the 2030 Olympics. Whether that's my delusional thinking, which comes to bite me in the butt most of the time, but I can figure it out, I think.
Hey, believing's the first step.
Hey, that's all it takes. Quinn, where did you land on the KD conversation that we had last week? I know you texted it to us, but go ahead and let the listeners know how you're wrong.
Okay. I know what you were saying about like the way Harden burned the bridge or whatever. The circumstances in which he left, a team that was in contention for the title, for the team that was in direct opposition to them, that was a super team. We haven't really seen anything like it, and the Thunder fans still hate him for it. And I think the fact that they've won a championship since almost like makes it less likely, even though I didn't think it was likely to begin with. But I think the fact that now they have this new group of guys where it's like, yeah, these are our guys. Like, these are the guys that brought us the championship. And obviously those guys are young and they'll have more full-fledged careers. I think they're going to be the franchise legends, and they don't need a KD like that anymore. But I just don't think, like I said, like we've had this conversation kind of, I think it's about what the fans want, and I just don't see the fans wanting it.
You don't think the fans will eventually want it? With enough hindsight?
I think the fans probably like Westbrook more too. So if anything, I think Westbrook would get it over Durant.
Well, I think Westbrook is like a lock. Like I'm saying, they might as well do it now. Like I don't see any reason they shouldn't. Just next time the Kings are in town, like go ahead and put it in stone. We don't have to spend much more time on that. Dang, I kind of wish I'd done a better job. Let me find. So there was more conversation about Adam Silver looking into anti-tanking rules. I think it's worth it to say in NBA basketball. But Quinn, you weren't here last week to talk about your thoughts, but like how would you solve it, you think?
That is a loaded question. I think the thing with tanking, well, I mean, I think like right now the way we talk about tanking is like, oh, it's this like plague that's killing the league that we have to like
it's always
stop completely, and that's the way Adam Silver's talking about it. And the thing is like it makes sense to tank, and there should probably be a few teams tanking every year. I think like making the penalties harsher for the teams like the Jazz that are very clearly purposely losing games. Like if you hurt their lottery odds for that, or if you took away, I know Bill Simmons said salary cap money. I don't know if that makes sense, but something like that. But I think the goal should be to have as few teams tanking as possible. So I don't know exactly how it would work, but I think like limiting I think the lottery almost hurts in the way that it is right now. It almost hurts the problem because there are so many teams in that like 10 seed in their conference range where it benefits them to not make the play-in because then they have good odds to make the playoff. But I think there's a benefit to tanking, and you know what? Like I've wanted the Bulls to be tanking for the past like 3 maybe 4 seasons because when teams refuse to tank and they think that they can win all the time, it ends up in mediocrity where the Bulls and the Heat and the Hawks make the play in every year and it never gets better, but because it never gets worse, essentially. That's my 2 cents.
Connor, did you have any other thoughts on it? I have a thing I want us to do for this, but did you have any other thoughts on it?
The more I think about it, the more I'm kind of just like, tanking happens, and like, also it's like if I was a fan of a team that was bad, I'd want my team to lose. Like I want the better pick. Or like if, like what I was saying with like the Hawks, Bulls, and Heat, like being mediocre is the worst thing you can do. You either want to be a contender or bad, but you never want to be in between because that's the worst you can be. So I just think I just don't think with any solution there's no way to solve tanking, and there will always be tanking, and I don't necessarily think that tanking is the worst thing a team could do. I think it's more so just tank but don't make it obvious. Like the Jazz benching other good players in the fourth quarter. Instead, bench them in the second and third quarter and play in the fourth quarter. Just to like don't make it as obvious. Still still have your guys play, have the fans happy seeing their favorite players play at the game. Just don't make it so obvious.
I think we'll go through and Shams Charania ranked, or he posted like some of the potential options that have been mentioned for like how to fix it. And I want us to go through and rate these on a scale of 1 to 10. So flatten odds for all lottery teams. What do you think of that one?
2.
Yeah. I don't like that one at all.
Pretty low. Yeah, because again, then you're going to have a bunch of teams tanking to just get out of the play-in. And I mean, yeah, like, again, a team that's, like, on the rise and almost makes the play-in, but has a solid roster and is going to get better, they don't really need to be rewarded with an elite player like the really bad teams do.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Lottery extended to include all play-in teams.
6.
6? I don't hate it. Yeah.
If they lose in the first round, if that makes sense. Like if the play-in teams win and then like make the playoffs and then win that first round, so I don't think they should get in. So like, but I don't know how they would like argue that. So like that's why I'm kind of like I like the idea of that.
If you advance to the second round, you don't get
Yeah, so it promotes like don't tank out of the play-in game. So it's like you still want to be in it, but then if you lose in the first round of the playoffs, you still get that lottery ball. Yeah,
I don't hate that. Quinn,
right? You have to kind of push the lottery after the playoffs or whatever, so that
like their odds would be a lot worse. Don't get me wrong, but like just still.
Lottery odds allocated based on 2-year records.
I'm about a
1 or 2
5 on this one because I think like there's benefit to it because like let's say like if you're an owner and you want to tanky, like basically it makes you really commit to it. It's not kind of like a one way or the other thing, which is like what the Bulls have ended up doing, where like
the Wizards
you can just kind of end up getting stuck in mediocrity or whatever. But I think and I think it like helps again reward the teams that are like truly honestly bad that really need it. But like at the same time, there could be a team that like was bad for a year and then they're already on the rise again, but those bad games are helping them and they don't really need that pick. So it's like helping teams that really, I guess, don't deserve it, quote unquote, in the way like we talk about team building, where like the worst teams get the most help, which is how it should be.
Yeah, I'd say I say I'm like a 4 for like both like the sides of Quinn was saying how like if a team was really bad, they get a good player, then they're a lot better but still miss the playoffs and they have still better odds than they would, but also the way around if your team was like really just say your team was playing mediocre like the Bulls are, and then now they're finally like, okay, we need to start tanking, sell all the players, and then the next year they suck. But since they were solid the year before, their odds are lower. So
sure. Teams can't pick top 4 the year after making conference finals. I don't like this one.
How come?
Because I think context matters. If this is like it being the caveat that the year after, so I'm thinking maybe I'm interpreting this wrong, but like the 2025 Eastern Conference Finals was the Pacers, Knicks, and then it was Thunder, Timberwolves, right?
Yeah.
So is that saying that none of those teams can pick in the top 4 in 2026? Is that how you guys are interpreting it, at least? See, yeah. I don't like that.
It's just weird. It's just so specific.
It makes sense because, like, teams
that
are like when the
matters
Warriors
for why.
I know, but the Warriors were like legit contenders, and then they had Steph Curry got hurt for like half that season or whatever, and they just kept him out so that they could get what ended up being James Wiseman. It didn't help them.
Yeah.
But like, it just like lets them like take a year off basically, and like a quote unquote rebuild year, and then they can just get a really good pick because their best player was hurt, and it just helps them like skyrocket back up to the top.
Okay. I
we see that with the Pacers. It's like a cheat code for them almost, just because Halliburton got hurt.
See, but I don't hate. I think I was thinking of it from the Pacers' perspective, that it's like, okay, why are they not good this year? Oh, they're obviously missing their best player. So I just think, I think I'm okay with that idea. Or I don't like.
I'm like a 5. I'm like a 5. I don't think I like it because I feel like the only reason why you'd get a top 4 pick is because a player gets hurt. Because why else would you fall out of the playoffs all of a sudden? I don't know. Yeah, so I'm probably against that.
Lottery odds freeze at the trade deadline or a later date.
I hate it. How come?
We're just going to make those end of the year games even more meaningless for some people.
Yeah, but nobody's going to be losing them on purpose is the thing. So
why are we playing? Why are those teams playing them then?
So that they can like see what their young guys
got. So they can make more money. No, so they can make. I just think it's. I think it's bad. I don't like it. I don't know.
I think there are drawbacks to it, but I think it makes sense because then, like, there are going to be no teams losing on purpose after the Super Bowl when everybody starts watching the NBA
I don't know
and
if
starts complaining about tanking.
Helps the idea of like the Jazz still not playing, because why would teams bring guys back from injury then if they're out of it? If their odds are frozen, they're already not going to play their guys at the end of the year. Then it's like they have even less incentive. They still have the same non-incentive to bring them back from injury. You know, like I don't think that really. Because if the goal is to get the product to be better for those meaningless games, it's like we want to see these guys play. That's not solving the problem for the fans, I think.
But I mean, if the Jazz wouldn't be taking Markkanen and Jackson out in the fourth quarter, like. Given that they are playing, like let's say if they aren't hurt in those games, if their lottery odds were already frozen, so they might as well play them because why would you just?
But if they feel like they're like we want to be really good next year, we don't want to risk you going out there and tearing your ACL or something like that. Then it's like we'll just you'll be done.
Why don't they do that now then? Why don't they doing not that play now? But they're still playing. Yes.
Jaren's done for the year with whatever injury they've decided
he had surgery.
Yeah, it's true. But like Anthony Davis and Trae Young, there was no attempt to get them back from injury.
Yeah.
And I think they were probably even told, like, hey, we're not bringing you back this or we're not getting you guys ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that really solves any problems.
I think it does, because I don't think you'll have teams like on the night of the game actively losing on purpose. And I mean, like, there's always going to be a risk for injury, so it's not like, I mean, like, yeah, if like the Thunder are like, should they not play Shea because they have like a really high like seed already? And well, I mean, I know he's hurt right now, so that doesn't really help my point. But like, should a contending team rest their stars just because, oh well, he could get hurt? Like, you don't see that happen, and I don't think it would like really be a major problem with this. But
first round picks can be protected only top 4 or top 14 plus. 9.
Pretty high, yeah.
I think that's really good.
So it's like you can only protect your picks. So like if you trade a first round pick, it'll only be top 4 protected or top 14 protected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think they should get rid of protections entirely.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe it'd be tough to enforce now because they're allowed to trade everything so far out. But
I get why they do it, because if you're trading for a pick 10 years from now,
it'd be tough to like,
and they still get that pick. It's just the year after.
Yeah,
is that how it works?
Right. or something like that, or
and then it becomes unprotected.
After. Yes, I think the second time around it's unprotected. Yeah,
I think it's better though too, because then you have to like actually be serious about trading first round pick, where it's like, oh well, we'll take it. It's like now you can just kind of hedge it and be like, oh well, we'll protect it in the top 10. That's what the Pacers did. So if the bottom falls out, like, okay, well, we'll just keep it, and if not, then like then we're probably good anyway, and we got what we wanted out of that. So I think it's got to be either you're really bad or like it moves up, or like the lottery one makes sense because it's like if you made the playoffs, you keep it. If you missed it, you don't, sort of thing.
I mean, that's literally why the protection is literally why the Pacers and Jazz are like going about the rest of the season the way they are, because of where their picks are protected. Have the Wizards traded their pick?
It's top 8 protected. I know.
Who they traded
to? They traded it for? I don't know.
Did the Mavs get that, or did they send that to the Hawks?
No. I think it was already traded before that.
It's interesting. I didn't know that one. I just knew.
So the Suns somehow. I don't know if it was like to take on the Beal contract.
Bradley Beal trade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it must have been, but. Washington received the more favorable, so it's a pick swap. Okay.
Oh, I'm on board to keep pick swaps though.
Yeah, those make sense.
It works. I don't have any problem with pick swaps. I have 2 more. I saved one of them because this is my big idea for how we fix it. No longer allowing a team to pick top 4 in consecutive years and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes.
1. I don't like it.
I'm in the middle. I'm like 5.
The and or after consecutive bottom 3 finishes is confusing.
I didn't really get what that means. If you're bottom 3 and
you can't.
Right. Well, I think it's just.
But even if you finish
you're bottom 3 and you fall out of the lottery, if you're bottom 3 twice and you fall out of the lottery in one of those years, you still don't get it. Whereas which I think is.
I don't like that part at all.
There's a way to do it where, like baseball, how they have it set up, where it's like, okay, you can't pick in the top 4, but you still will pick between 8 and 14, 16, whatever.
Or 5? Can they get 5th?
No. Well, that would if they're not. Yeah. Why not that?
Yeah.
I think that works.
Yeah,
because I think initially when I said they can't pick in the top 10, and that was a little dramatic on my part, but.
I would be more on board if it was 2 years. If it's in the top 4 2 years in a row, then the 3rd year they can't. Just because I'd be more on board with that than having it back.
Yeah. I think maybe the lottery already accounts for making sure teams can't pick or don't wind up picking multiple teams in a row. Because when I was looking into it, not many teams have picked in the top 4, top 5, whatever.
Also,
multiple years in a row.
I also still think just getting rid of the lottery altogether still might not be a bad idea.
I think too, if you're gonna do this, can't pick in the top 4 multiple years in a row. I think then you should get rid of the lottery, because then it's like, okay, the actual like teams that are really bad, then it's like, okay, they have to dig their way out of it. Whereas if a team like wasn't that bad one year and moved up in the lottery, but didn't actually get helped by that pick, and then the next year they are really bad, it's like they're really only bad for 1 year. Like, you shouldn't necessarily punish them for that. But I mean, and then I guess that's the thing, is that then they would be bad for a third year. So I see the logic behind it, but I think that on top of the lottery is just like too much of a,
it's redundant,
like anti-taking, and it just kind of yeah.
Okay. Did either of you see Charles Barkley talking about his potential fixes for it?
I did. Yeah,
I was going to bring
I forgot exactly what he said.
There were two that I wanted to mention.
When he like the first half, I was like, okay, and that last half, I was like, okay, I don't know what he's talking about like this. I forget what it was.
The two that I remember him bringing up, I think he brought up this one at least. The other one I know he did, but completely flattened lottery odds for all. Did we already mention that one?
I think so. I think that was
never mind. Then
and
just
I hate
the one
that
I
completely.
Okay, yeah. Then the other one that owners can't raise ticket prices in the year.
Oh, I did see that.
After I don't know how that would be enforced or where they would set the line at.
Because I'm
always down for that.
Is that just?
I don't hate it.
Is that just because they? That's just because they raise it when like the Lakers come and LeBron's playing. Is that why?
I think it's just in general. They're not allowed to raise the prices at all. Like I think you still have to allow for an amount of adjustment based on like supply and demand, but it's like year over year, or maybe the teams, like if you buy it directly from the team,
it's probably more like season tickets,
and season tickets can't go up.
I think the biggest one with that, though, I feel like most of the time people buy it just off of like SeatGeek or other website sites like that, so I feel like it wouldn't even matter that much for your everyday consumer because you buy it off of that, and no matter what, they jack up the prices on that anyway.
It does matter though for like because if you're a season ticket holder though, like that's where a lot of those SeatGeek tickets come from, is season ticket holders who like don't go to those games. So if like the team is bad, the value on SeatGeek will be lower, and it hurts the season ticket holders because then they're like losing money off of it. So that's another thing where it's like,
especially if they pay more year after year to get the ticket.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, if you're like really a fan of the team, you're invested in the season tickets, and they're actively being bad and then costing you more money. Like, I think that's where it's really gonna hurt them. So I like it for that reason.
And that was just if they were picking the top lottery, just picking the top whatever.
I don't know what
like if they're bad.
I can't remember.
Because then if like if they're playoff, like if they're the Thunder and you get good, raising prices then makes sense.
Right?
Better.
It would be if you're a bad team. Like Bulls tickets are ridiculous. I'm pretty sure just because it's the Bulls.
Yeah. Right.
Like they shouldn't be ridiculous to go to the. I think even like the Blackhawk. To be fair, I think it's a United Center thing because I don't think.
I mean, it's Well, and I mean that's the thing is like Jerry Reinsdorf knows that too. He knows that Bulls fans are going to be like the Bulls lead the league in attendance like every year, or they're top 3, and he knows that that's going to happen no matter what product is on the court. So there's not that much incentive for him to really make the team good.
Just supply and demand.
Like, I might as well just jack up the tickets or whatever. Because of that, but it's like
I mean business-wise that makes sense.
Yeah, like it's just like taking advantage of the high demand and not actually like providing a good whatever. It's like product on the court. It's just, I'm going to profit because of the way it is, you know?
That's fair. I don't know where to go from here. Cade Cunningham, I guess, is probably worth talking about a little bit. Derek, my roommate, is he going to win MVP?
No.
I don't think so.
Who's going to?
If he comes back, Shea. If not, then maybe.
Is he going to play enough games?
I think
I think he's like.
I don't know.
I think if he comes back in the next like 2 weeks, he's fine.
Because I still
can see Jaylen Brown winning over Cade.
I think Cade is starting to have an argument though.
No, he is. I just think Jaylen Brown had a better season than Cade Cunningham. So I think it would go to him.
It might be
over
close still
Cade.
between the two of them because Cade Cunningham's a big topic in my apartment because my roommate Derek is a Pistons fan. Like he's Jaylen Brown's averaging 29, 7, and 5. I don't really fault him for either of those. Like it's Jaylen Brown 29, 7, and 5. Cade Cunningham 25, 6, and 10. With the best record in the East. By
also,
a margin.
Is Cade a good defender? Because I always knew that Jaylen Brown is a pretty good defender. Yeah. They're both good defenders?
Yeah, okay. I think so. I don't really know.
I think Shay's only missed like 7 games, but I think the Celtics need to close the gap for it to be better odds for Brown. I think right now, because I mean the stats you threw out there, it sounds like not quite a toss up, but like pretty close. Where again we like it's probably going to be about the narrative and like Cade's doing it in Detroit with a team that was just like the laughingstock of the years 2 years ago. I know they were good last year, but I think I would give the advantage to Cade just for that. I guess Brown does have narrative power too because he lost Tatum, but
Tatum's about to come back.
I know.
Can't
but
wait.
I mean, he's done this all without him.
Yeah.
Just for the narrative.
Shea, I guess I didn't realize has missed as few games as he has. He's only missed 9 games this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Shea's still the heavy favorite. I don't even know what the odds are.
Let me check the betting market. It might have flipped the Cade. Cade had a great game the other night. Let me try and see. Because there was a reason because the big topic of discussion around Cade Cunningham in the Davis Garmeyer household over time, I guess. We've had this conversation a few times now. Is Cade Cunningham or Jalen Brunson?
Cade's the third favorite.
Is he third? Who's he behind? Shea and...
Somehow Jokic is still second, but I think if he misses one more game, he's not.
He's going to be eligible.
Yeah, I think he's...
But the big conversation...
Wembanyama's 4. But Cade's plus 600. Shea's minus 150. Victor's 4 plus 2,500. Luka's 5 at plus 3,500. And Jaylen Brown's plus 7,500. So it's actually...
Where are you seeing those odds at? I just wondering.
It's FanDuel. I just Googled it, and this is what came up for FanDuel odds.
I see.
Every sportsbook's different, obviously. But
DraftKings is roughly the same thing. Jaylen Brown plus 4,500?
I feel like those are actually not bad odds.
But that's so high, I feel like.
Throw a few bucks on it.
I mean, he's been balling.
It's not financial advice, but...
The conversation has been Cade Cunningham or Jalen Brunson, and I was interested to hear your guys' thoughts.
I'm playing Team Cade.
I think so, too. Although, my answer will be dependent on like this year's playoffs, I think, because now that Cade's been there, I want to see him kind of do it more. But he played well last year in that series. Like I know he had a few good games and stuff.
We know Brunson's clutch. I just don't like hasn't played very good defense, and I love my good defenders.
Here's just the fact that he's smaller.
Quinn, I'm interested to hear your thought. I've said Brunson, and I think it's just like we can talk about it more, but. Quinn, I'm interested to hear your thoughts. What sport do you think does advanced analytics the best?
Like, what do you mean? Like, matter the most?
Yeah. Like how I'm trying to think of how to. Maybe I phrased that question poorly. I think WAR for baseball is maybe the perfect stat, and I hate that there's not like a good, reliable equivalent.
Yeah.
To basketball or even football, because I think basketball there would be a good way to apply it, because I think that would be a helpful thing to try. I know there's some things like Thorpe, Zorp, whatever, but
Raptor,
not being like
LeBron. One of them is called LeBron.
Yeah, there's a LeBron one, but I think baseball does advanced stats really well in terms of how, because the counting stats don't really do much for me, especially in basketball. Like I think context matters a lot of the time with some of those things. And I think if there were a WAR stat, which stands for wins above replacement, and I think that Quinn, you feel like that's normally a good indicator of a player's value?
Yeah, because Yeah, and it's definitely not like an end-all be-all, but it can like put some arguments to bed of like this is a 5-win player versus a 3-win player or what have you.
Yeah.
I think it's just like the like not simplicity, but simplicity of baseball, where it's like what like a hitter does is much more easily quantifiable
Sure.
than what somebody might do on a basketball court, where it's like if he's like literally just like standing in the corner and a defender has to respect his shot and that clears up the lane for a guy to drive. It's like, how do you value that? Like, how do you quantify that and things like that? And some kind of like, just even like on ball defense, like like you can get a lot of steals and be a really bad defender. Like, or not get a lot of steals and be a really good defender. So things like that, it's hard to quantify. And then the same thing too, like that's like what all of football conversation is like, who is the reason these guys are good? Is it the play caller? Is it the quarterback? Is it the line? Is it the pass catchers? Like all of that is like, it's just very context specific, kind of like you were saying. And I think baseball, because it's like, it's so kind of like straightforward and unambiguous what happened, you can account for a lot of that context. Not all of it still, but I think you're right that it does a better job.
So where do you guys think Cade ranks in like the NBA right now?
Probably
it's hard. I'm pulling up the sheet.
I'm like maybe the fringe of the top 10.
That's what I told.
That's where I'd lean to start.
That's what I told. Because I think there's like 6, maybe more guys that I can say definitively yes are better than him.
Off the top of my head, I think like Jokic, Shea, Luka, Giannis. Who am I missing?
I think
I would think Tatum.
Maybe.
Tatum. Yeah, absolutely. And
then you can even argue. You can argue a lot of people then too, like Jaylen Brown, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Brunson. Wembanyama.
Right.
Oh, for sure, Victor. I think is probably
this ringer list still has Curry up there. Probably, yeah.
Right? Like, we'll find out what it looks like.
I gotta see it again.
It's tough.
Right.
It's tough to
Kevin Durant, probably Curry.
I don't know about either.
The problem with Halliburton is, like last year's regular season was bad, and it was like, okay, now he's insane in the playoffs. Let's see like a full regular season of it, and he blew out his Achilles, and we won't know for like another year.
It was unbelievable.
Maybe it's not 2 years because it takes a year to recover from that too.
They were gonna pull it off. Yeah. I don't know how, but they were gonna pull it off.
He was like 4 for 5 in that game.
Oh my gosh, that was so mad. I was driving home from a graduation party, and we were listening to the game, and it was like Halliburton's down. And I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
TJ McConnell tried his best. He tried his best to do it himself, and he couldn't quite pull it off. So we're talking about it right now. Who is your guys' picks for the NBA Finals? Like right now, just we don't have to spend much time talking about it, but like if you had to pick East, West, who are you picking?
I think I got Nuggets and Cavs.
I am gonna say also the Nuggets, and I'm gonna take the Knicks. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. Thunder over Knicks. Thunder repeat.
I'm going to say Timberwolves, Celtics.
Okay. Do we have 6 different teams there?
Yes.
Wow.
Okay, good.
You know what? That just makes the NBA, the shape of the NBA right now great because there's so many teams that have a chance to
because the Thunder
make
have
the finals and win.
Little bit more vulnerable this year than they did in the past.
Yeah.
And then there are teams that are going to get like Cavs have been playing phenomenally since Harden came back. We didn't even mention the Pistons. They have the best record.
They lost to the Thunder without Shea and Williams.
The Pistons have the best record in baseball. Or not baseball, basketball. I'm getting excited for baseball.
Yeah.
I was talking about it today. I'm going to opening day in Cincinnati. I'm going to 2 games that weekend.
Oh, really?
Because the Red Sox open their season there, and it's like a big opening day is a huge deal in Cincinnati, apparently.
Right.
So I'm going by myself, and I'm going to have the time of my life while I'm there.
That sounds so awesome.
Fun fact, I went to an opening weekend game in Cincinnati a while ago.
That's really cool.
Cardinals Reds, and then there was a rain delay. So like we went back to my aunt's house because she lives in Cincinnati, and then me and my parents went back because my siblings and my aunt were like, my siblings didn't want to go, so that they stayed home with my aunt. But then me and my parents went, and since a bunch of people just went home, didn't come back, we just gotta like get a bunch lower seats right behind home plate. It was cool.
Yeah,
and they won.
I'm really excited. That's gonna be like, and then I'm planning out my trip to Boston this summer too. I'm gonna be like a little kid in a candy store when I go there.
That's cool, yeah.
Like I'm sure you guys, I've talked about it with you guys, but like I got to go on like the Brewers field this like past like November and walk around there. It was the coolest thing ever. I had the biggest smile on my face I took batting practice on the field. I went down the slide that's in left field. Like I went down that.
Bernie's.
Coolest top 5 day of my life was that.
That's awesome.
It was amazing. Shout out my work. What were we talking about?
Do we want to well, I don't know. Do you want to address the Red Sox uniforms?
Oh, about how crummy they look? Yeah, that was
bad. We were talking about.
I don't want to talk about the Red Sox and their press statements. They just I don't believe a word that comes out of their mouth. No, they looked bad.
They're in the pocket of Fanatics. No, I know, but I mean,
and then the Red Sox said it was their fault.
Fanatic. Well, yeah, they just said it was. They just said, oh, it was wrong, and then they released a statement to be like, no, this was not Fanatics' fault. We love Fanatics; they're a great partner. And then they released like a statement below that to be like, to be very clear, like Fanatics is amazing. Like it was really interesting and weird and
stupid. I hate it.
Maybe it wasn't actually Fanatics' fault, but nobody likes them anyway, so it
point the finger at them. Yeah, that would have been an easy way for them to get brownie points. The management right now could use it after what they said about Alex Bregman this week for no reason. They were sending slanderous comments at him.
I didn't hear that, but
that's what they do. They slander guys on their way out. They did it to Mookie. They did it to Xander. They did it to Devers. Like this is just what they do.
Yeah.
They slander guys on their way out, and they expect people to believe them. I don't. Like, just bring me another World Series, and I'll forget about all of it.
Yeah, let's just get to the end of March and
let's let the rings do the talking. Win another ring, and I can, you can buy a little grace period from the kid. College basketball. Darren Peterson had another interesting week. I feel like he's going to be a recurring topic. On Tuesday or whatever, he seemed to check himself out of the game, and then Bill Self had some interesting comments about it. Let me see if I have.
I feel like Bill Self has handled it all very well.
Yeah, I thought he phrased everything.
He's handled it really well.
Over the two press conferences that he's had. The ones that I've seen recently, I think he's handled them very well in terms of saying like.
And then yesterday, sorry, go ahead.
So Bill Self, one of the quotes was, "We've had this happen more than a couple of times. I thought he was good to go. We only got 18 minutes out of him. That's disappointing because he could have had a really big night." If you were a NBA decision maker for a team, how concerned would you be about Darren Peterson?
I mean, I'm concerned, but again, like kind of like we said over text, like not enough to not take him at 2, and I think that's almost just because Dubonsa is so good, and I think
he's amazing.
He's a good enough player to justify taking over Peterson, but Peterson is just so ridiculously talented, and the thing is, even if there are definitely questions about how much he loves the game, and that's what's like pushing me from him being 1 to 2, I still just think he's just so talented that like it's not gonna really matter. Most likely, and yes, I would be scared of that risk. But the other thing too is like right now it's like, oh well, he's so focused on like just his draft stock or whatever, and he doesn't want to like go in there and I guess get himself hurt or whatever, and his agent's like sitting there on the sideline and then leaves at halftime after he scored 18 points in the first half of the BYU game. But the NBA is the highest level. So there's I think a little bit of like, oh well, what's he gonna sit out for then? Like he's not trying to like bet on himself for some other thing at that point. So I think like there's not as much incentive for him at that point to not really care.
Not play.
So
Yeah.
I would still take him too, but I'm scared a little bit off it, and just because I think Dubonsa is such a great other option, I would maybe take him first.
Connor, did you have additional thoughts outside of what Quinn said?
If I was an NBA owner, I'd be the happiest to have pick 2. I'd be so happy. Be like, whoever you take at 1, I'm perfectly fine who at pick 2. Like I view like Peterson and what's his name?
Dubonsa. I don't know either.
I don't know.
Of like, I think they're like equal. So like of prospects. So it's like if I'm pick 2, I'm like I'm fine with either. I think they're both like really good prospects.
I agree. I just think it's rarely is this the end of concerns about things. Like this is
but
if this is the concern now, it's not going to be the end of concerns about Darren Peterson.
Maybe, but also like he's only subbing himself out of games where they're like winning by a lot. It seems like. So like the Cincinnati game yesterday, he played like the whole entire game. Like if there's a world he plays the whole Big 12 tournament, plays the whole NCAA tournament, has no issues, we're all gonna like forget about
And
this.
I liked that Bill Self said that, where he was like, the easiest way for him to end this whole conversation is to play, finish games, like play, and the silence will go away. You let your game do the talking. I'm a little concerned that it doesn't seem like when he's on the court versus not that it affects whether they win games or not. It seems like.
I don't know. I feel like people say that about a lot of players that are like, we're missing this player.
And maybe
like,
I factor that in a little too much, but it's a little concerning.
To me,
just a little bit.
He just makes me feel like a kid watching him score, which is like all there really is. I get what you're saying, but just from like a purely basketball standpoint, like he's got like the long arms, he can get a shot off over everyone, and it's really quick, and he makes them. That again, going back to that BYU game, he dunked over 2 people. He was making steals on like swing passes, and he's just like, and then he's also just like so shifty and smooth with his like shot creation that I think like all of that is what really matters, and not like the splits or whatever. But
I love Dubonsa. I think he's the clear number 1 pick right now. Like I wouldn't hesitate. I'm probably gonna have. And I'm in the Dynasty Basketball League. I'm probably going to have the first overall pick. I'm taking AJ Dubonsa, no questions asked. I'm not even thinking about it twice. Not even twice.
I think there's no wrong answer as it comes to prospects of who you're picking.
And
first.
I watched a lot of the Duke game, and I have thoughts on Cameron Boozer.
The Duke-Michigan game?
Yeah, Duke-Michigan. Great game, by the way. Enjoyed it. And I watched the second half
I didn't get to watch any of it.
Houston, Arizona. So I have a thought about the...
Yeah, I watched the second half of that game.
Fleming? Kingston? Is that his name? Kingston Fleming?
Kingston Flemings, but yeah.
Flemings? Yeah. Okay. I liked him. I thought he was good.
He's awesome.
He's good.
He's got room to grow as a scorer, but he had great vision. Like, I thought he was a great passer. Mm-hmm. Like, I noticed that right away from him.
Also, I think playing in the Houston system as a prospect helps so much because of how, like, tight they run things defensively. I think that'll help so much in the development.
Their center, I think, is gonna be a fringe lottery pick too, or they're one of their big men. I thought he played well. And then Arizona, I know, is missing their second.
Sanak or the other one?
Sanak. Yep, Sanak. I thought he played good.
He's such an awesome rebounder.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah. And I think he's got it. The fact that the like broadcast was talking about it, how it was like he picked here because he knew he was gonna get chewed out every day. And I was like, I like that. I like that.
That is awesome.
Yeah. As a lunch pail guy myself, I love it. But and then Arizona was missing their second best player, Pete.
Yeah, he's been out for a little while.
Okay.
And they had that one dude with the flu.
Both teams look really good. Both of them, I think, are going to be contenders. But Duke, watching Boozer, I'm less concerned about it after having watched it versus hearing other people talk about it. Because it's not flat. He maybe put up the least flashy 18, 10, and 7 anyone's ever done in college basketball. Like, he looks like an old man running up and down the court, but like, and it's just not. I think that's the concern, is that it's just not flashy.
I think I was talking to Quinn and Chad about this earlier. I think Boozer's floor. I think his ceiling is like Julius Randle. So it's like you can get if you pick him, you can still get like a good all-star. Yeah, but like just the upside compared to like the other players isn't there compared to like the Banza or Peterson or even
I
like
think he should be 3.
Or even like Fleming for that example. He probably will be 3, but I just feel like the guard. Like, there's a bunch of good guards in this class. I think their like ceiling is way higher, but I think Boozer can still be a good player. I just think his ceiling is not like top 5 in the NBA type of ceiling.
Probably not. But like,
I think he can be a really good.
We've named both guys that have that.
Yeah,
like, I don't think with a third overall pick you're expecting that ceiling most of the time.
That's basically what I was gonna say. Like, I think the expectations sometimes about the third pick are like still that you like are gonna get a superstar, and that's just like probably not the case. I think Boozer, like, he can be like a really good second best player on a like championship team because he does so many things well too. Like, he racks up all the assists, he shoots, passer. He rebounds, like he does everything. So and like things like that too will elevate the level of play of the rest of the guys in your team. So you just need somebody who can like take the brunt of all the scoring, because that's kind of where he lacks, is like all the like shot creation, like flashy scoring. So if you have somebody who can do that for you or whatever, I think he will elevate that person. They'll elevate him, and like if you can find somebody to play off him really, really well.
It reminded me a little bit of Paolo Banchero, however you say his name. Because I don't think he's super athletic either.
He's pretty athletic.
I think the offensive bag. I think I just remember watching him play. Like when I pictured it, it was a lot of settling for jump shots. I feel like, and he probably still does it.
Yeah,
but it's like Cam Boozer plays like he's bigger than he is, and I like that because he uses his size
he shoots
to his advantage.
He shoots like 39% from 3.
And doesn't take many, I think.
For a player who's not like the way he plays, he's gonna have to be able to make an open jump shot, which I
think he can do.
Yeah.
I also thought the response by the Michigan guy being asked about him as a player was crazy. Did you guys see that?
I didn't see it.
No.
So whoever the best like Michigan guy, I don't know, Lendeborg, I don't really know. Yeah. He was asked about it. He basically was like fighting laughing to try and answer it. It was crazy. I was like, dude, just put 18, 10, and 7 on your head and won the game, and you're laughing. Like, you're like, I get it's just not flashy. Like, it doesn't.
Right.
There's not going to be the poster or like the step back 3, but like he was a good team defender. Like, he just did everything well. So I'm less concerned.
I will say, while we're talking about Michigan and Duke, I think it's not a hot take, but I think Michigan is probably my favorite. It should be the favorite to win the tournament, even after losing.
I think it should be Arizona after watching them.
I'm going to say that I still think
there's like 8 teams that could win this year, which is why the tournament this year is going to be so fun.
Yeah.
Quinn, who did you think it should be?
Unfortunately, Kansas.
Really?
Only
slightly. Should be the favorite?
Oh, okay. No. They might be who I pick. We'll see. I just love that roster, basically.
I lied. I'm picking BYU.
Kansas is good.
I'm picking
not
BYU.
Even Peterson. Not even.
No.
Even without him, I'd pick them. Flory Badunga
Isn't that a little
awesome.
Concerning?
Council. What?
That you picked them even if they didn't have Peterson?
No. It's just a really good team.
Okay.
No, I like Kansas a lot too.
Just saying.
There's so many good teams, though.
Is maybe my favorite player in college basketball too. That's not on the team I root for. He is not to this level, but like Boozer, like he just does so many things well that contribute to winning plays. And he has the same name as a rapper, which is cool.
Ripped Texas Tech, lost JT Toppin this week. Huge loss. But
awful.
All-American type of player. Hate to see it.
Yeah.
They were, like 2 weeks ago, they were my, sleeper-ish team to win. and they just beat Arizona. They could beat anyone in the country. Hate to see it.
Yeah, that's brutal.
How much do we want to talk about Bears move? I feel like it's worth talking about for a second. Like, as you guys are both Bears fans, what are your guys' thoughts on the potential move to Indiana?
I guess to start, I will say that I don't think this is on the Bears at all. I think the Bears want to stay in Illinois. They've been wanting a new stadium for like 5 years now and have gotten like little to no progress in Illinois. They bought Arlington Heights. They said they'd pay for a $2 billion stadium. And then Illinois was like, well, you also have to pay for the roads and the infrastructure and $180 million more in taxes than the highest stadium right now, which is SoFi. So not even on par with SoFi, $180 million more than SoFi. And then on the other hand, Indiana's like, yeah, we just signed a bill where you can build your stadium tax free. Like we're not even like I feel like Bears fans aren't even like we're saying like we'll pay taxes. We're not saying don't even make it tax free, but $180 million more than the highest right now. That's just flat out ridiculous when they can build a stadium in Indiana and not pay any of it.
Quinn?
Wait, I think I don't think like I think that's what like all of this that's going on right now is like Illinois and the Bears trying to work so that they don't have to pay the again $180 million more. And that number is like an estimate from a third party, and I think like it's going to work its way down. And I just think that okay, yes, I will definitely say that it is difficult to do things in Illinois, and that I understand why the Bears went to Indiana because it's going to be way easier to do it there. But it's not like, oh, well, they're just asking them to pay for infrastructure. The infrastructure that they're talking about is still $895 million that they want, like that's going to go to the taxpayers. And like I think that's something that we're like kind of glossing over. And the state is trying to work with them. And yes, it's taking a long time because it's Illinois, but I think that the Bears almost have a responsibility to get it done in Illinois, and while that's frustrating, it's something that they like have to work with. So I understand why like they're threatening to go to Indiana, and it's making it work. Like the lawmakers in Illinois are like trying to make it happen. I know Pritzker said he thinks it's like agreed to in principle, and then the meeting got canceled and Warren was at the Olympics. But I think it's like I think it's difficult, yes, that to do it in Illinois, and that's because of the state. But I think the Bears like should be able to do it, and I think it probably will happen. Is where I land.
Yeah, I also don't like how it took like a threat to move to Indiana for this to happen. Like It's been 5 years now in the making of wanting a new stadium. Soldier Field sucks. The field's horrible. Like they sprinkle like grass. They sprinkle like green dirt on it to look like grass from the TV. Like they host concerts and stuff way too far in the summer, which what they agreed with originally, and that's why the field sucks. They've tried to come up. I guess I really hope they do still Illinois, and I'm still holding out hope that'll happen because at this point I'm just any news that happens, I'm just wait until it's official. I'm not gonna fully believe it because I've heard so many things now the past few years.
There's rarely a good guy in these situations. I think I think either side. It's just going to depend on like, your perspective of it. But it's just playing politics at the end of the day. Like it's just we both know what both sides want, and it's like Chicago. The Bears obviously want to build their own. It all comes down to money at the end, which I think is a stupid thing. But it's like the Bears obviously want to build their own stadium because they don't own Soldier Field currently, so they're not making all the money off that. The city of Chicago
and because the field sucks.
Illinois don't want. I think it largely has to do with the money part of it. But it's like
it's such an outdated stadium, though.
I think it's just like they
and
would
small,
like to
and the field itself is just bad.
Yep, and why would the city of Chicago and state of Illinois help them to leave? But I don't think I don't think the Bear, from my understanding at least, the Bears aren't asking for anything that isn't done by other states for other teams currently, correct?
That's what the picture that I'm getting is that like, they're not asking for anything special.
Yeah.
Well, the Rams owner paid for the infrastructure for SoFi, and again, that's almost $1 billion that we're talking about that like they're still asking the state to pay. And I mean, Indiana has a budget surplus every year, so that's like why it's easier to do it. And part of that is because Indiana like doesn't put as much of that money into like their actual infrastructure that like helps the people in the state. So it like that might end up hurting the people in Indiana, or they're gonna have to like foot the bill of the infrastructure with their taxes, or who knows. But I also think like again, maybe this is just because it's difficult to work in Illinois, but like, yeah, the Bears have had the Arlington land for 5 years, but also they were going to go to Arlington, then they were going to go to like Naperville or Waukegan or Country Club Hills or Aurora. Then they were back in the city, and then they were back in Arlington, and now they're going to Indiana. Like, it's not been like straightforward to the state of like, what do we want? Which
I think
is confusing.
It's difficult to find land. You're not going to find land in Chicago to build what they want, I'm guessing. So it's like Arlington Heights was an easy option. How much does them crossing the border change things for you, if that happens?
Yeah, originally I was pissed, but now I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. I feel like the Jets and Giants play in New Jersey. I'm pretty sure the Commanders play in Maryland. They play in Maryland, so they don't play in Washington D.C.
Don't the Chiefs play
the
in
Cowboys
Missouri?
don't play in Dallas. Well, they're about to soon, I think.
Or right? No, they're moving to Kansas. Kansas City's in Missouri, but they're moving to Kansas.
Yeah. So it's like in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's right on the border of Illinois. Like it's the same, because from where I live in the suburbs, it's the same distance drive. Exactly.
To Arlington Heights from Soldier Field as it is to where the potential new one is.
Yeah. So it's really not that big of a deal, I feel like. Because it's still going to be called the Chicago Bears. It's not like a 30-minute drive outside Chicago. It's not that big of a deal.
Quinn?
I would still just be upset about it. It's just like just from like the it doesn't feel right thing. Yeah, like I don't know. If I don't think it's gonna happen kind of for that reason. And like I'm not gonna ditch the team if they do that, but I feel like it would take some kind of wind out of that sail.
Sure.
Yeah. I definitely do prefer them to stay in Illinois. But also it's like moving from Arlington wherever in Indiana, it's like it's the same distance away, so it's not like I feel like already moving out of Chicago is is getting rid of all like the Chicago, oldest team, one of the oldest teams in the NFL, Chicago. But I don't think it's
to me,
as big a deal.
That's cool to me is the thing. Like, and I think like I've kind of accepted this at this point because of the state of Soldier Field, and again, like you said, like there's not really anywhere to build. Like you said, Topher, like there's not anywhere to build, and the Friends of the Park wouldn't let them build like in that spot south of the stadium. But I think like the fact that there is a stadium in a big city where like after the game you can go hang out in that big city, like that's pretty rare, and I think it's really cool right now. So like if I had my pick, I'd want him to be in Chicago, but I think that's not happening.
Because also I will say, I went to the Bears Packers game this year in Lambeau, and I've been to the Soldier Field before. So much nicer at Lambeau. Like the field's nice. You park like a half mile away. It's just like I'm just like, wow, this is way nicer than Soldier Field. Like having to walk like 2 miles, park in a jank parking garage 2 miles away, walking up, which again, I don't mind walking, but it's like for some people that are like disabled and can't like move to the stadium, like it'd be way easier to not be in Soldier Field and stuff. Like,
yeah, getting public transit,
and just the field itself sucking
again is probably like just an ass, just like talking to the void. But I think that would be awesome too. It's like here's a spot to park, and then there's like a train that runs there constantly on game days or something. But I don't know how easy that is to do. Like, or I know it's not easy to do that in like the heart of Chicago, but it is what it is.
For Arlington, I think the whole also appeal was like they're gonna make like all around Arlington Heights just like Bears Central, like a bunch of sports bars that are all Bears related. So it's like again after the game, instead of Chicago, you can still go to all these other sports bars around. So it's not like you walk out and it's like Lambeau and it's like, nothing's here. It's like there's still gonna be like places to get food and drinks and stuff before and after the game.
Well, I'll be down in Chicago in a few weeks, so I'll knock some heads together and get it started out for you
Thank
guys. You. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Did we have anything else?
One thing.
God.
Rondale Moore, just rest in peace.
Moment of silence.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I'm a Purdue fan because of some of my family, and when I was like a freshman in high school, I was getting into the sport more, and that was his freshman year at Purdue, and he was just such an awesome player. The magical game against Ohio State that one night, and so just like from that standpoint, obviously, like again, like he was just so cool in college, and it just sucks to see like and again, this is about who he is as a person, like that's what makes it really sad. But you also just see like the injuries that he's had over the past few years, and it's just never really worked, and you never want to see that happen to anyone. And like where it is now, that or what I mean, yeah, he's gone. Like that really, really sucks. And yeah, checking on your loved ones, that sort of thing. Like we say it all the time, but like it's obviously clearly something we need to do, and that's just really, really sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, not to end on that note, but
no, it's okay.
Yeah,
I think it's okay if we end on that. I don't think we had anything else. It was where we were going to end things. I think regardless, just knowing your love for him, as we've all.
Right.
Connor, I know. I don't know how Connor felt, but the moment I saw it was Rondale Moore, Quinn was the first person to pop into my head. And I'm sure Connor and plenty of others felt the same. So it's never a good thing when someone passes away like this. So it's just praying for him, his family, and his friends.
And right. That was one thing that was cool and like speaks to who he was. The reaction from like guys around the league, some who like never played with him. Like he was cool. Like he was a great guy. Like that just sucks. And
for sure.
Jeff Brom had a good statement about it as college coach, and it's just awful.
Yeah. So we will see you guys next week. Good luck at conference this week, guys, and all my
thank you.
All my birds out there watching. Go crush it. You guys know what to do.
Yeah. And go Firebirds in basketball in the conference tournaments.
Go Birds all around. Big week for the Birds.
Yeah.
All right. You all have a good night.
Yep. See you guys next week.